this is Elena and welcome to Made with Yiayia. Today we're going to be making Greek-style cabbage rolls. Oppa! What we're going to need, as you can see, I have in front of me the cabbage. I have the water actually starting to boil in the pot. So I'm going to put it in so it can just soften the leaves about 10 to 15 minutes. And then we're going to, while that's happening, we're going to organize all the things we need to chop and get ready, okay? So as you can see, we have our cabbage in the water. It's boiling a little bit. What you have to do actually to make it a lot easier is actually cut a hole, as you can see here, because then you can put boiling water in there and it'll help it to warm up and come apart a lot easier. So usually I even like to just fill it in like that. So we're just gonna let it simmer for a little while. Now while that's going on, we will start chopping our vegetables that we're going to be using. We have approximately 2 pounds of ground beef. We have 1 pound of ground pork. To it now, we're going to add our 4 cloves of garlic, our 2 large onions that we've grated, and approximately around a cup or a little over a cup of parsley chopped up. And 1 cup of rice. We're also going to add about a teaspoon of salt and about a half a teaspoon of ground pepper. So this is what goes in our mix for our Greek-style cabbage rolls. As you can see behind me on the stove, we're starting to pull out the layers of the cabbage. So we've got about 5 or 6 already. Slowly we're going to continue working on that. In the meantime, let's get messy. Gotta have some fun. There we go. Voila. So now we're ready to start putting our cabbage rolls together. First of all, we put a couple tablespoons of olive oil in the bottom, just so that it doesn't stick. What we do is we actually put a couple of the broken up leaves on the bottom, just to kind of put a coat. That way, as they start to boil, you won't get any of your actual cabbage rolls burnt, even if that gets touched a little bit, okay? So, now let's get started. So what you want to do, first off, is cut where it's really hard, as you can see. So we're going to cut this grain off. If you see that it's too hard, usually that's the hardest part. And now we're ready. We'll take a scoop of our meat and we cross, push it in a little bit and roll a little bit. Then again, we turn again, and there's our 1 cabbage roll. So some of them, of course, might be a little bit bigger as we go along, but as we get more to the middle of the cabbage, of course, they're going to be a little bit smaller. So we just keep going and filling as we go around. So we are progressing here. I'm up to a 2nd layer. You can kind of see it. We are going to do a 3rd one. So I'm just going to keep doing this. This is something amazing because you can actually prepare it the day before, which is what I'm planning to do. Put it in the fridge while they're all rolled up overnight. And then tomorrow, when you're making your dessert or making other things that you're going to be part of your meal, you just have to put the pot there to start boiling on low. So I'm going to continue rolling these, fill this up, and we will be back tomorrow, well, actually in a few minutes, with the finished product and what exactly are the final steps. Thanks for watching so far. See you soon. Hello, and we're back. 2nd day. So what happened as I was finishing rolling up these cabbage rolls, unfortunately it was a small head, so I had a little bit of meat left over. So you're gonna see a double tasting today because I actually made a Greek style lemon, little mini hamburgers. We call it hamburger soup, just little balls of hamburgers. So we'll be doing that also later today, and you'll see some snapshots of some of that going on. But I'd like to show you what's going on with our cabbage rolls. So right over here. Now here we go. So we filled our pot with water. We're gonna let it boil now. It has to simmer for about on medium low for a good hour. So we've added the juice of 1 lemon and about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Just a little bit of salt to season on top, so as it's boiling it'll get more flavor in. And what's always important, because it is going to be boiling, put a plate on top, whatever fits, to kind of put a little bit of pressure to keep them down so they don't actually start floating to the top when the boiling does happen. So we see it's just starting to do a little bit of bubbling. So we'll see how they look in about an hour when we add the finishing touches to it. So now we're going to take our 2 eggs. We're going to separate the egg white from the yolk. That way we can beat the egg white first and it'll become a nice frothy consistency. Add the lemon a little bit at a time as you go. Almost to the point of a meringue type thing, but not quite. So just keep beating away. Then we add our 2 yolks, continue beating, and the rest of our 2 juices of lemon. And as you can see, it's really nice and frothy. That's how you want it to be. So now, because we don't want it to scramble, we're going to add a little bit at a time of the juices from our cabbage rolls. Now this meal, obviously you want to have a lot of these beautiful creamy juices on your plate too. So if you want to have some fresh bread or make some fresh bread, I will be posting some nice recipes for fresh bread also in the future. So as you can see, nothing got scrambled, so we're ready to basically just dump it over. Oops. So what you want to do, I know this is really full. As you can see, the cabbage really plumped up because of all the rice, and so they look so good. You bring it to a slight boil one more time. As soon as it boils, all you do is turn it off, and we will be ready for our tasting. Now, for the second part, Youverlakia mini hamburger soup. So we have our little hamburgers boiling. We add about a half a cup of rice when it does start to boil, some extra virgin olive oil, probably about 4 to 5 tablespoons. And again, we do the same thing to make that egg lemon mixture so it doesn't scramble again. We add some of the juices a little at a time. Oops. Look at that creaminess. This is going to be a very nice hearty lunch. Absolutely delicious. So, as promised, we're coming back for the tasting, and we have a 2-for-1 special today, as we kind of discussed a little bit through some of the videos. Due to the fact that we had a little bit of extra meat, we actually made some hamburger soup with rice, which you saw in some of the pictures and short videos. And of course our cabbage rolls in this yummy lemony sauce. So I'm gonna dig right in. I should do this one. Cabbage is really tender, cutting well, but it's still holding its ground, which is good. Absolutely good. Yummy looking. Let's see if I can get it all together. Let's try. It really smells good. So delicious. Lemon is good. Could add a little bit salt and pepper to it if you want. Absolutely delicious. In the future, I'll be showing you some bread recipes. But you know, as Greeks, love our bread. dipping into that yummy lemon juice, it's just a whole other ball game for bread. So yummy. And now for our soup, we got really thick, almost like a meatball and rice dish this time. Again, it's going to be similar, only without the cabbage. It's going to have that nice lemony flavor that we put into it. If you want to add a little more salt and pepper, definitely. Soup's very easy. Just add it on top, no big deal. Now let's try this one out. The lemon is so nice. We do love our lemon. So, my dear friends, thank you for being with me today. That's it. Greek style cabbage rolls, meatball soup, and future coming recipes, some fresh bread. Thanks for joining me again. I'm Elena, and this is Made with Yiayia. Oppa!